strong words from a smart guy. Stacey Rasgon of Bernstein. Stocks up a little bit. Everybody's waiting on those numbers tonight. Stacey, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You bet.
All right, so your next guest is plugged into really every corner of that technology supply chain, from semiconductors, but also to software and hardware. He's in constant conversation with leaders driving this innovation. Dan Newman advises the C-suite on some of the technology shaping business today, where the next big disruptions may come from. Dan, thank you. You heard the top of the show. I tried to lay it out. You just heard from Stacey Rasgon. Is there any part of you that thinks that this Nvidia hype, AI hype, is overdone at all?
I don't think so, Brian. I think we want that story to be true. You heard that 95% MIT number come out this week, that 95% of AI projects aren't deriving value. We do have a human challenge.
By the way, that study worried me. Yeah. It means that maybe AI is overhyped, and a lot of this stuff that we talk about every day is overhyped.
So let me respond to that. Every major revolution we've had, there's the two conflicts. There's how well the technology works and how people work. And people are struggling at the pace of change that we're dealing with right now. The AI that's being implemented in businesses, it's taking a long time. In fact, the long tail of enterprise AI is barely cooked into these numbers yet. What we're seeing is these consumer applications, the ChatGPTs, the Google Geminis. That's the stuff we're all adopting. But when we're trying to work across the SaaS stack, we've heard this SaaS is dead narrative. And in some ways, I think over 3 or 4 years—
Software as a service.
Yes, software as a service, or these enterprise software companies are in trouble. You've heard it about Salesforce, ServiceNow. They're all going to be in big trouble. In the long term, Brian, if they do not change their course to support the AI model, because you and I probably have all used that kind of software every day in our lives. And the last thing we want to do is something that's harder than getting on ChatGPT. You want to be able to search, and you want to see your enterprise numbers, your sales numbers. It's still too hard. So there's a lot of work to be done. But your question of, are we overcooked? No, this infrastructure boom is very well in place.
Is that why we're seeing, like, Salesforce and others, they have like Matthew McConaughey telling us that they're actually an AI company?
Well, they obviously—
Because they have to convince the world that SaaS, software as a service, is alive and well because of AI.
Yeah, the entire software industrial complex needs to be rebuilt. OpenAI and ChatGPT has changed the way we interact with software every day. Nvidia is the backbone of this. Now, you asked a question earlier, who's the next company? I'll give you one to think about.
Okay.
Broadcom. So the major hyperscalers are all building their own chips. You've heard about this, right?
Yes.
Jensen says it's not going to happen, or it's not going to work as well as their GPUs. But the margins that are being pulled out of Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, by using all this Nvidia is going to get challenged. And our latest numbers actually show that by 2028—
this is fascinating, Daniel. So sorry to interrupt, because I think, stay on that. Apple did this.
Yes.
Apple Computer did this.
Yes.
They went from, I think, Intel, I think it was Intel chips.
They did.
People can @ me on the interwebs. And they went to their own chip. Not that they don't exclusively use it, but they went to their own chip. So you're suggesting that if you're an Amazon, if you're Jeff Bezos or whatever, you're thinking, or Andy Jassy, maybe you're thinking, why are we paying Nvidia so much money? Let's just make our own chips.
Yeah, we've documented this. It's going to bifurcate. It's going to split. Externally, these hyperscalers that are selling to enterprises, it will be all Nvidia. We think it'll stay over 90% all the way to the end of this decade. Internally, though, Meta using it for their own products, for their 3.3 billion daily users. Google, they've already done it. Google Gemini Advanced is built on Google's own infrastructure. It was trained on Google's Broadcom-supported, made TPU chips. So it's already starting to happen. They have huge numbers, and this CapEx is still largely favoring NVIDIA. And we see NVIDIA clear sailing, Brian, for at least 2 more years before this really becomes a problem.
2 years is not long for the stock market. If the stock market thinks that NVIDIA in 2 years might start to slow down,
they're going
to sell the stock.
We still see an overall CAGR of the entire market. We have a number over 580 billion for AI chips by 2029.
Okay.
It's going to slow down, but moreover, what's going to happen though is these custom chips for Meta. There's 6,000 rack scale. This is the rumor: 6,000 rack scale large systems that Meta's building with their own silicon. Meaning these gigawatt data centers that you talk about are going to be powered by their own chips. They will make more money. They have to your point about Apple, they have to vertically integrate to make the most money.
Yeah.
NVIDIA is still the best option to get there fast, but these companies in the long run need to deliver EPS to their customers.
And by the way, on the